Hi, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So please subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. So, what did it feel like to go to a Bollywood party after two broken bones on my spine on the 28th of April and 5 months physio rehabilitation, which I'm still undergoing as it happens? So, how did this unexpected Bollywood party for me happen? So, you might remember I said that I talked to an Indian guy in a shop in my city. And as he's a uni student, and he has friends, obviously, that go to uni. I wanted to know if he had friends who lived in the area that I'm thinking about moving to, providing I get a flat in that area that I viewed last week. And after I gave him my number, if you remember, I actually locked myself out of my home because I forgot to give the guy my number when he said, "Yes, I'll ask my friends about that," and I had to go all the way back to the shop to give him my number. And because my mind gets so, like, fluttery where Indian guys are concerned, because I have a lot of attraction usually for Indian guys, then I end up locking myself out of my home on Saturday. He doesn't know this because I didn't tell him. But anyway, so he started messaging me yesterday, and he messaged me about the flat situation, saying that he's asked his friends, but he needed to know more information about what he was looking for, whether it was just me or for a family, or where I was looking to share. And I said, no, I'm single. I'm not interested in having kids or a family. And even if I had a partner, I prefer to live separately because I'm not, I've lived on my own for a long time. Anyway, there was a few messages he sent, but the last message was telling me about a Bollywood party that was on in my city and saying he doesn't usually go to them, but it's a big event. And he told me to let him know what I thought about that. So it sounded like he was inviting me to go to a Bollywood party with him, but I had to make doubly sure. So I sent him a few messages back. And one of the things I asked him is, are you asking me to go to the Bollywood party with you? Or are you just telling me about it because you know I like Bollywood parties? To which he did not respond, and I received no response back from him, which I was so disappointed with, because at the end of the day, he was the one who asked me out in the first place and told me about this Bollywood party. I would not have known anything about it else. So it's totally unexpected, totally out of the blue. Of course, I was a little bit like, oh my God, an Indian guy's invited me to a Bollywood party. You know how I get a bit hyper romantic over these things. So anyway, I didn't say I'm a hyper romantic to him, but clearly I thought it's nice that you offered. It sounded like, but he said, oh, bear in mind of your injury to your back and it's short notice. So I got back to him. This was around 2 something, like 2:30. It was before 3 o'clock anyway. I've actually got the time on my phone. It's before 3 o'clock, and he'd read all my messages, and I was waiting for him to respond for hours, and he never did. So I was so disappointed because he asked me out, and then didn't bother to respond to my response when he was asking for a response. So that was really frustrating and disappointing because I usually switch my phone off when I'm working, but I couldn't do that because I had to have my phone nearby to wait for his response, because I said, "Where is it?" Because you know what I mean. I said, "I'm not sure my body's up to it, but where is it?" And I've got to test my body out sometime, with my back injury. So I was waiting eagerly and patiently to hear from him, and I never heard from him. And then it came to like 8 o'clock, and I thought, well, clearly he's not responding. And I was umming and ahhing where I should go on my own or not, because I wasn't even thinking about going to a Bollywood party until he mentioned it. Then I was thinking, well, if I go, it'll be more for his benefit than mine. But then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, this is a really great opportunity to test your back. And I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm a really spiritual person. I believe God put this in my path to test me. Like, because what are the odds of that happening? Right? It's just very strange. I've never actually been asked to a Bollywood party by an Indian guy before. So that is really unusual and nice at the same time. They're very strange that he didn't follow through on that. He since sent me some messages to explain he wasn't feeling well, but that's no excuse for him not actually mentioning that yesterday when I was actually waiting for him to respond to my reply, because it was urgent that he responded, because it was yesterday he asked me. but I will deal with that later. I haven't responded to his messages because I was out with a friend earlier. So, and that was unexpected as well. I bumped into her in Sainsbury's. So I'm doing more random, spontaneous, unexpected things lately. I think it's good a bit to do this. Hi, Lee. Yeah, it's very aggravating, Lee. Very aggravating. I'm going to have words with him about that, but I don't know how to phrase it yet. Because he did apologise, but he said, oh, I was feeling a bit under the weather. But to me, that's no He goes, oh, I got rained on and was feeling a bit under the weather. I'm not going to go into everything else, but I'm thinking that's for me personally, I think that's a poor excuse. To me, that is a sense of weakness, if you know what I mean. Like if I hear any guy saying that, I'm thinking, well, a bit of rain. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, and for me, that's a very poor reason not to message. All they had to do is message, say, actually, I'm not feeling that well after all. So I was asking you out. Apparently, he was asking me out. I found he told me he was asking me to go with him, but this is what he messaged me today. Later on today, I might add, not first thing in the morning, much later on, right? And so, yeah, he said, oh, he got rained on and was feeling a bit under the weather. Well, he could have just messaged me and said, hey, I know I asked you out earlier to go to this Bollywood dance, but actually I'm not feeling very well. And so I can't go anyway. So I'm really sorry about that, but maybe some other time or something like that he could have done, or just said, like, I'm feeling really poorly at the moment. I can't go after all. But speak to you again soon when I'm feeling better or something like that. But to just say nothing is not good communication skills, and it's not personally respecting my time. So I have to speak to him about that because I don't want to be connected to people who are not respecting my time as much as they respect their own, which a lot of people don't seem to do these days. And so it's something I'm very aware of now, because I do not want to start being connected to people who don't value my time as much as their own. And there's a lot of people that do that. They only think of their own time, and it's not good. So I'm not sure how to phrase it yet in the nicest way possible, but it left me feeling really disappointed, really confused. Like, why ask me out and then not even respond? And then, like you say, it's aggravating and it's also frustrating. It's like, because I had to keep looking at my phone all the time, which was distracting my day and wasting my time, basically, because he was never going to reply anyway. So that didn't feel good to me. So I need to work out how I'm going to say that in the best way possible to him. But I feel really let down, to be honest, by that. But I went anyway. I should probably see from my videos. So this is where it gets interesting. So when I was thinking in my head, I've got a damaged back, right? So my back has had 2 broken bones in it. On the 28th of April, I had an accident at a business show. When I say accident, I was doing an exercise and the people on the stage told us to twist as far around at the waist as we can go, right? And as far as I understand, this was a mindset test to push yourself through your limits of what's possible, which clearly I did. And I ended up with 2 broken bones in my back, which apparently isn't normal. But I'm not normal. So there we go. So anyway, so I've asked for physiotherapy rehabilitation, and I have been seeing a physiotherapist now for a long time. I think it's a week after I did my accident, something like had my accident, I started physiotherapy. So I started it quite soon because I broke my left ankle twice, and I know that physiotherapy helped me to be able to dance again. And I love dancing, and I will not tolerate myself not being able to dance ever again. I will not have something like that for myself. I will not allow myself to not live life to the max. And it's hard work doing physio, but I asked for it. And so I've had to do exercise, and I've worked really hard for 5 months on a lot of exercises, some of which really exhaust me because it's a lot of energy it uses, and it's a lot of parts of the body I have to do. Even though it's my back, I have to do a lot of other parts of the body, like squats and standing on one leg, front and back leg, and I stand on my toes, and I have to put my legs up and down and hit them on my knees, and I have to go. Also, she's working on this arm because this arm had an old injury from years ago, and it's been causing me issues. I've had to be learning how to strengthen this arm as well, which has caused me more pain. And I'm having to do a lot of stuff which isn't easy to do. It's very strenuous on the body because I've got fibromyalgia as well, which is a chronic pain condition that affects the nerves and muscles of the body, which I got diagnosed with in 2012. There's no apparently no cure for, but a few people say they've been cured of it. Anyway, I wrote a book on it, how to manage fibromyalgia to have less energy, more pain, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. So get this book if you want more energy like me. Even if you don't have fibro, it tells you how to reduce your pain in 25 aspects of your life. So it's like a personal development book in disguise. It's really good. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot more energy than most people with fibro because of what I do and don't eat and the things I do and do not put them to my mind, etc. So going back to the Bollywood pie, before I went in the lead up to it, I was thinking, shall I go or shan't? Because it would be more for his benefit than mine, because I wasn't really thinking about going. And I'm like, but Sandra, you never think that way. You love Bollywood parties. And so as I was thinking about it and not hearing from him, I was thinking, should I go? I was thinking, what do I do now? Because if I sit and write, which I love writing my book, I love writing my Asexuality, but I thought if you sit and write and then think about the party being on, it's literally was just up my road. I mean, I had to go, to be precise, I had to go up the road and around the corner. So that's how near it was to my home. And I thought, if there is a problem with me, it was a Bollywood dance, but a Bollywood pie at a nightclub. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to go to a Bollywood party, I'd rather go while I'm still having physiotherapy. So therefore, if there's any problems, the physio can help me correct them quickly. Whereas if I go after I've been discharged from the physiotherapist, then if there's a problem, I won't know how to set it right. I'll have another load of problems again. Plus, I thought with it just being up the road, you can come back anytime you want. You can leave early if it gets too much and overwhelming. I gave myself permission to leave early because usually I have it in my head that if I go somewhere like clubbing or an event like Bollywood dance, I want to stay till the end. That's kind of like I've got to have enough energy to stay till the end. But I thought this time, because of my injury, I mean, breaking 2 vertebrae in your spine is not a mild injury. Your spine is relative to every part of your body. And so I thought, I have to give myself some grace to know that it's okay to leave early. It doesn't matter if it's a short period of time. It's good for me to try it. And I was scared. I was so scared and nervous because I'm like, what if you do more damage to your back again? Like, what if you injure yourself again? What if you set yourself back for months again? Like, what? Because I was planning on going to a Bollywood party in the future. Because I said to my physiotherapist, I want to get so good, so much fitter and better in my body that by the end of it, I can go to a Bollywood party again and dance. This was my aim, because I always push myself to be able to do things again like this, because I do not want to be crippled for the rest of my life, not being able to do certain things that I enjoy. I love dancing. It makes me feel free. It's a warm my soul. I've actually got dance qualification. I got a bronze in freestyle disco dancing. Well, it's actually freestyle, highly commended. I had to do 2 dances in front of a panel of judges. I've got a bronze plaque. So I've actually got a qualification in it. And it's a bit like being on the X Factor, where you had to go in front of judges and they mark your dancers. But I worked really hard for that, but I didn't progress because work got in the way, and it became the dancing became a lot harder, and I just gave that up. But I was glad I got my bronze. And so I like freestyling the most. So even if I go to a Bollywood party, I still like doing my own dance routine mixed with a bit of like Bollywood arm movements and stuff that's kind of like not fully Bollywood, but sort of a bit there, if you know what I mean. It's a bit hand movements, so we're being Bollywood steps, but they're not exactly the specific steps. So yeah, in the lead up to it, I was so nervous. I couldn't make my mind up. I'm like, are you going? Are you not going? Actually, it was before 8 o'clock I was considering where I should go or not. But 8 o'clock was a really turning point. It's like, you've got to make your mind up soon, because it starts at 10 p.m. But usually people don't get there till 11. So I thought, I'm not going to be there before 11, because usually other people don't turn up to 11. And it got later and later because I was actually waiting to hear back from the guy, for him to say something to me. But by the time 8 o'clock came around, I pretty much gave up and had to decide for myself whether I wanted to go on my own or not. So I was umming and ahhing, and I was so nervous, as you can imagine. You've broken 2 bones in your spine. You haven't been able to go clubbing or dancing in the whole of the time. I haven't even been clubbing since November last year. And so, and that was at Bollywood party. I did go to Exeter Pride, and we went to a pub afterwards. A few people did, and there was some music on, like, with a DJ, but it was, like, really it was not modern music. And I did a little bit of, like, moving my hips and stuff. I couldn't do much, but that was when I was in the thick of my back being broken. That was in May, and I only broke my back in April, but I hadn't been diagnosed with broken back then. I'd been misdiagnosed with a muscle strain or sprain, and I did a tiny little bit of swaying of my hips then. But I left early, like, I left at 7 of that because I got too tired. I think I was there for, like, an hour and a quarter or more, though. Might have been more than that, might be an hour and a half or more, but, so I did well even to do that, but I was in a lot of pain. I remember I had to go home because I was really exhausted and in a lot of pain. So last night I, like, couldn't make my mind up. I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Okay, Sandra, like, if you do it, you've just gotta be confident with it because you've got." Because I felt really vulnerable. I feel more vulnerable lately because my back's been injured, and I haven't felt as strong as I should do. Because obviously when you've injured your spine, it relates to, like I said, every part of the body, and it does make you more vulnerable. While I'm out on my own at night, it makes me feel more vulnerable. It has done. But I did get some confidence back last night, so worth it was worth it. So I have been really focusing on my exercises. My best friend hasn't been able to help me for over a week now. Yeah, it's over a week. It might even been 2 weeks. So they've been poorly. And so they haven't been able to help me for at least a week. When my washer dryer, that packed up. The Monday after that, they saw me. And then, so I think it's been 2 weeks since they last saw me, I think. And yeah, because that week they got poorly. So I saw them on a Monday. Yeah, so it's 2 weeks ago since I last saw my best friend, so I've been having to do all my housework and everything myself. My best friend was helping me with some of the shopping and everything. So it's kind of been a good test for me to see how well I'm able to cope on my own and do housework and stuff for myself and bending more and exercise more, but I've had to do it in stages, like, instead of doing it all at once, I've had to do it more in stages, so I'm not doing something every day. Like, and I'm doing different things on different days, but I have been working really hard on my exercises. And before I went clubbing, I did a lot of, like, housework yesterday. I did, like, washing up, which is a lot for me because it hurts my back. It hurts me just because of fibro, so it makes me even worse with my back. And I've actually done all my exercise yesterday. And I don't usually like, if I'm going out walking for a long time or something like that, or if I knew I was going dancing, I might not have done those exercises that much because it does make me more exhausted because I've done exercises and going out doing more exercises, double exhaustion. So anyway, I was, like, really stressed, nervous. I had tummy pain, but I wasn't sure if that's because of something I ate before I went out. But actually, when I got home, I had horrendous tummy pain, worse than back pain. But I'll go into a bit more details about that later. So yeah, I had a bit of food before I went out. I had a really late lunch because I didn't even plan on going out. But when I said I didn't know the venue because the guy who invited me, I asked him where the venue was and he didn't even tell me that. But luckily I thought, well, I'll Google it because I Googled Bollywood events in Exeter and it came up with yesterday's event, which came up yesterday when I saw it, about the Bollywood party. And it's run by the Indian Society for Exeter University, which is the parties I've been to before. That was the last party was arranged by them and the Asian Society. And I usually go to their Bollywood parties and I usually get emailed, but I didn't get emailed about this one. So I wouldn't have known anything about it unless this guy from this shop told me. And so I'm like, wow, that's like fate. And so I thought in the end that I'll go to it. So I decided I was going to it, but I was so stressed and nervous. But I thought, you've had 5 months of rehabilitation. It was actually just over 5 months. So the 28th of April is when I injured my back, 2 broken bones in my spine. And it was the 29th of September yesterday. So it'd just been over 5 months. So I decided to go and I decided to test it. I wasn't intending to go to a Bollywood party again till later on towards Christmas or beginning of next year because I didn't think I was ready. I thought you're not going to be ready for another few months, Sandra, to go to a Bollywood party dancing. You're just because I've still got some pain. I've still got some twinging in my back. I still have I have a pain like here, which is really weird under my arm. It feels like it's cut. but it's not all the time. It's really weird. But the physio hasn't even said to me what that's about. She just doesn't really say anything. So anyway, I was like really nervous. You can imagine, can't you? You've had 2 broken bones in your spine. And even with rehabilitation, it takes a lot to be able to trust yourself and your body again, that you can do a lot of dancing without having another injury, especially as I injured it by doing an exercise, twisting around at the waist, which apparently is not normal to do that. So I was really nervous and apprehensive. I had really bad tummy pain. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, but I decided in the end at 9 o'clock when the thing started at 10 to just get a ticket. So I got a ticket and I'm like freaking out with myself. I'm coaching myself and I'm going, oh my God, I can't go. Oh my God, I'm in so much. I'm like so worried. I'm like, oh, I got tummy pain. Oh, I can't go. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're going, Sandra. You'll be fine. I'm like, but what if I'm not? And I'm like, I'll look after you. But what if I'm not? And I have to coach myself like this. If you've never done this before, it's very insightful. And it, especially if you have anxiety, to be a coach to yourself while you're going through an anxious moment is very important. So it requires you to like come out of yourself as a coach as well as being yourself. And you're like communicating with your coach self and your inner self that's going through the anxiety turmoil. So I'm basically going saying, I can't do this. It's like it's too stressful. Oh my God, what if things go wrong? I'm like, you're okay. I'll look after you. I'm like, but I'm stressed and I'm worried. And what if I break another bone? And what if I do myself an injury? And what if I put my back out for another 6 months and it's all worse than it was before? And all this type of stuff's going through my head. And I'm having to calm myself down, going, you're going to be fine. At the end of the day, it's just up your road. You can come back whenever you want. If you don't like it, you can come back. If you're getting a lot of pain, you can come back. It's the best case scenario to try it because you're still under physio. The the club is literally just up your road. It's the closest club you can get to your home. You'll be moving soon, probably to maybe to the opposite end of the city, which means you won't be able to have a club on your doorstep like that again. So you won't get the opportunity. And if you have to go further home, it's going to be harder for you. And plus, maybe you are actually ready, even though you don't think you are, because you work damn hard, girl. You work so hard on your exercises. And I know how much pain you've been in doing them. I know how much they exhaust you. And I know how determined you are to not let it stop you dancing and to recover and prove to yourself that you can damn well do it. I am that determined. I just don't give up. And you have to have that attitude. Be determined to succeed in whatever you do relentlessly. And that's what I have. And I do admire that about me. It is hard work, but you don't get anywhere in life without hard work. And you have to go through pain. Yes, people, you have to go through pain. I'm telling you, it's hard work and it's painful, but it's worth it because I do not want to be the person that can't go dancing and enjoy themselves again. I don't want to be this person who thinks, oh, I'm too this, that, and the other to go dancing. No, I want to be around young people dancing like I've always been, right? I have a 21st mindset, believing I can do anything a 21-year-old can do if I put my mind to it. And I love being around younger people because my mind is like that, my mind and my soul. Actually, my birth certificate is irrelevant to me. I'm not even interested in it. So I'm like, you want to go dancing again? I mean, it has cost my mind in the last few months. I'll never be able to go dancing again. But I might never be able to do that again. I might have such a broken spine that even if it repairs itself, it's too risky to be able to go out again. Especially as I haven't even had a DEXA scan. So I've had blood tests which ruled out blood cancer and the bone profile was fine. So theoretically, I shouldn't have osteoporosis. But they said I need a DEXA scan as well to rule out osteoporosis completely. And technically, if you do have that, then obviously you have to be careful what you do in terms of movement. But I personally don't believe I've got that. But I haven't had that scan yet, bone density scan. And also, I forgot completely that someone who I know who is actually a physical therapist, she's like a massager, etc., to Janet Jackson. Like, yeah, I'm talking about Michael Jackson's sister. She works as like a physical therapist with her and her team. So behind the scenes doing massages and goes on tour with her. And she was saying, I know her through Blue Talks actually, and she was saying to me that you should be tested because she said the way you broke your bones is not normal. You should have a DEXA scan. And I was getting really fearful after that, but I've completely forgot about that. And I think it's really important what we put in our mind, because if we focus on the negative, we're more likely to get the outcome we don't want in our lives. So we have to like focus on the positive. So I completely forgot that she even said that to me. Anyway, I thought it's the best time to go out while you've got the physiotherapist that's still seeing you, while your nightclub's really close to you, and maybe you have got the strength because you've been working so damn hard, and you can lift things in terms of weight that you couldn't do before, even though you do get pain doing it. You can lift stuff that you haven't been able to lift before, because I've been doing weights as well. I got weights at home that I've had for ages, but I'm using them more now. So I'm building my muscles up so they're a lot stronger, but I have to keep doing it. So it's hard to get a balance between doing it enough so I remain strong and exhausting myself so I can't do as much of it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm thinking I'm just coaching myself all the time. Up to the last minute, I am literally coaching myself. And I didn't go in the shower until like 9 o'clock. So I'm in the shower and I'm thinking, oh my God, I think it was 9 o'clock. And that's when I bought the ticket at 9. Yeah, so it must have been 9 o'clock. By the time I got out of the shower, it was like gone 10. That's right. So I didn't actually get there till 11, after 11:30, I think it was. I think it was something like 11:40, because I did take my time and I knew I wasn't going to get there straight away. So it was on to from 10 a.m., sorry, 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. But I knew that it's better if I go a bit later, because there's not many people there earlier on, not till 11 usually. And also, I thought then there's less time, because usually I'd love to go for longer, but I'm having to test myself out. And as I've not danced for ages at a club anyway, and I've had an injury, 2 broken bones in my spine, it's imperative that I take my time and go there for some time, not thinking I have to be there every minute of the hour. No, I don't. So regardless of the fact that the Indian guy didn't actually message me back, I decided to go by myself. And because I think I don't need permission from someone else to go, right? If I want to go to something, I will. I'm glad he told me about it, but I was hugely disappointed that he didn't follow through on that. Hugely disappointing, because that isn't right. If you ask someone out somewhere and you ask them for a response, you give them a response and then they don't reply, then you're left thinking, well, what's going on? Am I going with you tonight? Am I not going with you tonight? Where is it? Where is it not? Are you leaving it till after you finish your work to message me back? Are you not? Are you getting ready and thinking you're going to message me back after that? What's going on? It just causes so much confusion. And so anyway, I pressed the effort button and decided I'll go myself. So had the shower and everything. I had a bit of something to eat, but I did actually have tummy ache. And I'm like, before I went in the shower, and I'm like, oh my God, this is not good. So I had some food before I went in the shower, a bit of fruit and a health bar. But I had tummy pain. And I'm like, well, how can you go when you got tummy pain? Oh, well, I've paid for the ticket now, so you're going. So I really literally won't let myself get out of it. So I'm like, okay. So I had some more food before I went, but not loads. And so I went there, and it was just up the road. And it was really weird. When I got there, this guy who was a member of staff looked like he was letting me round the back entrance. And I'm like, is this the right way? And he's like, oh, well, what have you come for? I said, the Bollywood party. He's like, oh, here's my ticket. He's like, oh, it looked like he thought I was a guest or something. It was really weird. It's like he let me through the bollards, and I felt like he was thinking I was royalty or something, or I was a guest of honor or something. I don't know what was going on that. It's weird. It's never happened to me before, but it was really bizarre. And he started to move these barricades for me to let me through. And I was thinking, I don't think this is the right way. I wasn't sure. Are you letting me through to go to another place? I was thinking, this is around the back of the club. So you must be thinking I'm like able to go around the back of a VIP or something. I don't know. It's really weird. And then I went to the right part to go through, because he's like, oh, you actually need to go around there, because I said, I don't think is this the right way? And he saw my ticket then. So then an Indian girl scanned my ticket, and she said, oh, you're early. I said, really? She goes, yeah, you're really early, which I again thought was another weird thing. I'm like, that's so weird. There's already some people there, but I felt like it was just so weird. I didn't know this girl, whether I've seen her before or not, because some of the people I've seen before there, but I just thought it's weird. I've never had anyone say that to me before. I'm like, is there something I'm missing? I felt a bit like a guest of honor then, like being told I'm too early. I thought this is not a normal thing to say to people. So it's really strange. I've actually had someone at Timepiece nightclub, which is my favorite nightclub to go to, actually said, oh, she's our guest of honor. To this guy who goes, "She's not a student." And this woman security guard goes, "No, she's our guest of honor." Because I used to go to Timepiece a lot. It was like on Tuesdays, which is like salsa world music night, and there's a lot of students that go that night. So it doesn't say it's students only. So I just used to go on Tuesday night. It's my favorite club, and I like going on Tuesdays, but I haven't been for a long, long time. And so it was really funny when she said that. So I kind of felt like a bit of a guest of honor when I first entered this space last night. Anyway, so I had to put my bags in the well, I went and took few shorts videos, which you'll see on this channel. So do watch them. They're very short. And I had to get lockers. Well, not lockers, it's cloakroom for my bag and coat because it was chucking it down with rain before I went. Like most people would think, oh, I'm not going out because it's raining, but I don't care about something like that, right? I don't let things like that put me off. It's just excuses not to live life, in my opinion. So anyway, I put my waterproof coat on over my nice clubby clothes, which are sequins and a glittery skirt, sequin top, glittery skirt. And I had slip-on shoes because I thought the other shoes I got just doesn't go. Lee, you forgot they were running to Indian time. Oh, yeah, because they're late. Well, I know that Indians don't usually get there till 11 PM. But it was like 11:30 or 40 by the time I got there, I think. So, yeah, it's a good point, though. But, because a lot of them don't show up till at least 11. So I knew there's no point in going usually till after 11 unless I just want to sit on my own for a while. And possibly if anyone wants to bother talking to me, they can. But usually it's just sitting on your own. Or sometimes I used to be the first one on the dance floor, but then they get intimidated by me for some reason because I do lots of kind of crazy dancing. So I usually, if I go early, I've got to hold back. I usually go in the toilet and hold back from dancing. So, or I might dance a little bit and then they go and then I purposely go off so they come on the floor because for some reason I think they're a bit intimidated when I do that. So I've learned not to do that. So it's better if I go later anyway when there's already people on the dance floor dancing, then I just blend in behind them because I think it's their night after all. So I don't mind doing that. So yeah. So basically I went in there and with the cloakroom there was an issue because there was my bag and coat I had to put in, but I've got hidden disabilities. And so I have to get my coat. Sorry, not to my coat. I have to get to my bag to get things out of it. And so I said to the guy in the cloakroom who was also Indian, I said I got hidden disabilities, which I bought proof of, by the way, and said, "Is it okay if I get to my bag to take it to the toilet with me sometimes? I'll pay to obviously store it there, but I need to actually have it to just go up to the toilet with and come back." They've done it before when I've been to a body pie here. He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll have to ask my manager. I don't know." And oh my God, I held the queue up doing that. So that was a bit like, well, most people would say that's quite embarrassing, but there we go. I try not to get embarrassed by anything. But it was an inconvenience and it felt like a bit, well, I felt like, well, you should really know. I've got disabilities, so long as I'm not taken out of the building, which they said, "Oh, you're not taking it out of the building, are you?" I'm like, "No." But it says the bag, and coat, it basically says per item, it's £3 to, like, store an item there, which is, like, £6, but I think I got charged 8 on my card. I didn't quite check it today because 'cause I've been out most of the day, so after I did some book writing, after I woke up earlier than I thought I would, because I didn't go to sleep till 4:30 because I was there clubbing for a long time, actually. So I did really, really well. So by the time I finished sorting the cloakroom issue out, I then went on the dance floor and I was dancing mostly on my own for the majority of the night. And so, yeah, I was dancing. There was a lot of music there. I was testing out my body a lot. I have a problem still with jumping. I like to jump up and down, but that was an issue. My back, I felt like twitching, like twinging, like kind of giving way a little bit. So it's like, when you have that sagging feeling, like compressing feeling, it was like that. So I'm okay a little bit if I jump a little bit on tiptoes, but if I put my full weight and slam down on the floor, that's an issue for me. So I'm seeing my physiotherapist tomorrow. So I will be talking to her about that because I noticed that I had to stop that straight away and I had to be careful of jumping. Jumping seems to be a really big issue still for me. Oh, I say really big. I could do some bits of jumping, like, on my, like, toes lightly, but full on jumping like that, mm-mm. So and I didn't really do it. I did a lot of movements, actually. I did a lot of, like, different types of arm movement stuff, but I didn't twist all the way around, so but I did spin around, so I am twisting around, but I didn't obviously twist right around at the waist, so yeah, I was still really impressed with myself because I did really good job. I did quite a lot of energetic dancing considering I'd had 2 broken bones in my spine only 5 months ago, just 5 months and a day ago. And I'm like, "Wow, you've done really well, Sandra." I was so pleased with myself. I did have a few guys that did a tiny bit of dancing with me. Well, I mean tiny, it's like what for one sometimes it was like for just a few seconds, and other times towards the end it was like for a minute or maybe 2 at the most. I had to be careful of the vape because that gives me respiratory infections, so I was trying to avoid that, so I kept having to move around the dance floor. But at the very end, there was a girl who was dancing with me, actually. She was dancing with me for probably, I don't know, between 10 and 20 minutes, maybe? And I don't know if it was even longer than that, but it was really I wasn't sure because I'm never sure if certain girls are lesbians or if they're just being friendly and dancing with me. I can't work it out. I really can't because she was with a friend, a girlfriend who had a boyfriend. And but she wasn't with someone, but she was dancing with me, but she was like shaking her boobies. And I don't know if that means I fancy you and I'm a lesbian or if it just means I'm being friendly and enjoying my body to the music. I don't know because if I do shake like do shaky stuff, right? But I even did some of that last night, but it's normally when I'm on my own, which I was on my own last night when I did that, or like if guys are with me, right? And yeah, so it was weird when she was doing it in front of me because I'm like thinking I felt like she wanted me to be a bit more closer to her when she did that, and I didn't want to do that because I know some girls there, they like pushing their boobs near each other. And I've noticed this in clubs, and I'm not sure if that's just because they're that way inclined and they're not lesbian, or if they're actual lesbian. I don't get it. But there was a guy who said something to her and she was refusing him. And I don't know if he wanted to dance with her or what, or if he wanted to like do something else with her, but she was refusing him and then carry on dancing with me. So I don't know. I couldn't work it out. I suppose loads of guys would probably have been attracted to her. Um, and she was nice. I enjoyed like dancing, but I was always apprehensive and uncomfortable at the fact I don't know if she's like a lesbian or not. And not uncomfortable if she was, but uncomfortable if she was a lesbian and liked me, if you know what I mean. Because I'm not a lesbian, and I find it uncomfortable when women are jigging their boobs specifically whilst looking at me in front of my face. I'm like, I really don't want to get too close to you when you're doing that. If you want to do that because you're enjoying the music, that's fine. But I really don't want to get in closer because to me that would be too sexual with a woman, and I'm really not up for that. So I was kind of I was trying to keep not too close to her when she was doing that, but I ended up nearly when there's a stage, there's like a handrail that goes off the stage, and I kept nearly bumping into the handrail because she was coming towards me a lot with her dancing. She was like really enjoying my dancing. So she joined in my dancing and we were sort of dancing together. And I really liked the fact I was dancing with a girl. I liked the fact that, they make me feel welcome. There was a couple of girls in the toilet that said, "Oh, if you want to dance with us," but I didn't end up dancing with them because they were kind of dancing together a lot. And I didn't end up doing that. And there was at least one girl that said she liked my top, my sparkly top, which was really nice. But yeah, I just found that weird. I don't know what girls think when they do stuff like that because it's not. I do that type of thing, but not with a girl. So I don't know what goes on. So I just felt like, oh my god, I don't know which way to take this. I really don't. Because her friend was saying stuff to her and she was like, "Oh, no, it's fine, you can go," or whatever, and, she went out with her boyfriend for, like, 1 or 2 minutes and then came back again. So I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know because some people are bisexual, aren't they? I don't know whether she's a woman into a woman or what, but when they're sort of doing those type of sexual moves in my direction, if it was a guy doing that, I'd say he's sexually attracted to me and is flirting with me and is coming on to me or something. But as it's a woman, I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing, whether they're just doing it because they find it fun and they like showing their body off like that or what. So that is a bit of a nightmare for me because I can't work it out. And I didn't want her to think I was a lesbian because I was enjoying dancing with her, just dancing with someone and not mean anything by it, because I don't know what goes through their head. If it is a lesbian, she might think I fancy women because I agreed to dance with her. I don't know because I'm not a lesbian, you know what I mean? So it was kind of really strange. I find that it's uncomfortable because it's not. Do you know what I mean? I thought, oh, what if she thinks you fancy her, Sandra, because she's flashing her boobs at you and you're not like running away? I'm like, but I'm not, and I'm not like going close to her either. And I'm like, what if she thinks because you're smiling at her and you're dancing with her, you're a lesbian? I'm like, but girls are very friendly in society. Just because you're uncomfortable that because you don't know whether they're a lesbian or not doesn't mean to say they are a lesbian, and they can just be happy being around other women and sexually free around them. You know what I mean? But I'm quite reserved like that with other women. And I'm like, I know some girls, they go in the toilet together, like 2 or 3 of them in pub toilets together. I'm like, I don't want to see other women's bits. Thank you very much. That to me is a private thing and something that should not be flashed around other women, you know what I mean? So I'm really private like that in front of other women, especially, and I'm just like, pfft. So anyway, but it was nice to have someone to dance with because I didn't have really anyone to dance with the rest of the night. But I was really pleased. So I did leave earlier because I did go back and say thank you to that girl and her friend because I said I'm going now because it was 2:30 in the morning. Bear in mind I got there about 11, between 11, between 11:30 and 11:40 by the time I put my bags in. And or was it? No, it might be before I put my bags in. So by the time, because I spent a few minutes doing the shorts videos, didn't I? So by the time I started actually dancing, it's probably more like 10 to midnight. Anyway, so by the time 2:30 came, I got a glass of water at the bar and it was like, yeah, I noticed on one of the watches it said 2:30, and so I went to the toilet and I thought I've had enough now because I was enjoying it up until right this minute, and then I'm not enjoying it anymore because my back's like sore and my tummy hurts and I'm just exhausted now. So the club didn't actually finish till 3 a.m. But I'd danced a lot, had some good dancing to a lot of good songs. So I decided to leave because I already decided I was going to leave if I was exhausted. And I'd done about 2.5 hours to 3 hours dancing. I did go into the toilet partway through and I had a rest and I went to the toilet a few times, but I had one time I went to the toilet and spent longer in the toilet, to like have a rest and eat a bit of naked bar in my bag and change my underwear from a sweaty pair into a new pair, if you must know, telling you my private stuff. But that's something I do when I go to clubbing because it's like you get soaked if you're doing high octane energetic dancing. Like considering I damaged my back 5 months ago, it was very high octane energetic dancing, but not as fully as I could usually do because of my back injury, because of jumping. I usually like to jump a lot, but I couldn't do that as much last night. And I had to calm down a bit because I couldn't do it quite as full on as I usually do it because I'm like, I started it and I'm like, you're gonna have too much pain if you do it. So calm down a bit. You have to slow down a bit. So there was times where I was doing quite fast and then I was like, you got to slow down because it's just gonna wreck your back again. So there is still improvements I need to make. I still have some strength I need to gather and get better in, but overall I did really, really well. I'm glad I left at it was 2:40 by the time I got home. So I left a little after 2:30, probably about 2:35 or something. It only takes about 5 minutes or less to get back home. And it was nice to like come out late at night on my own and walk home on my own because because I've been feeling quite vulnerable lately with my back injury. To be able to do that's good. When I first went from my home though to the club, there was some guys doing some weird stuff on the steps, so I had to go. Luckily where I live, there's another section of steps which is a really steep up like a wall, and it's like another way of getting up. This one that you don't usually go. It's like spindly stone stairwell that goes up a bridge, which is a really old-fashioned one because the bridge is an 18th century bridge, which is opposite where I live. But there was guys doing some stuff and I thought they might be doing drugs. I didn't want to go near them, especially because it was dark there. So I went up the more better lit stairs And then I was walking to the club, I'll across the road, and I could actually smell drugs. And I thought, God, if they are doing drugs, the wind must have really blown the smell over here, because it smelled like weed. And I've never taken weed before, but I know what it smells like, because unfortunately I've had to live in shared houses in the past with people doing that type of stuff. So, yeah, I could smell drugs, and it was like there was no one else around. So I don't know if it was a wind that was carrying that. I thought, I'm glad I'm not there. I'm glad I didn't go near those guys, because I just felt it was really dangerous for me. So I have to use my wits around me when I'm on my own. So anyway, I got back and was fine, but I had a lot of tummy pain. My tummy pain was worse than my back pain. So yeah, my tummy felt it was literally looked like it was all swollen out. I've had problems with my digestion since May, since I saw a homeopath to help me with my skin issues, because the doctors couldn't fix it. And then she gave me something that I wished I'd never taken. I didn't know what was in it, and it made my digestive system like not work properly, which hasn't been an issue for me in 10 years, since 2014. So, and I take digestive enzymes for it. I've been fine for 10 years, but they haven't been, they stopped working like they used to do. So it's been really hard to try and get that back. And so I made a lot of improvements, but sometimes my stomach still swells, and like last night was really badly swollen. But when I go to bed, after I woken up, the pain wears off, this pain wore off, and then my tummy's back down again. So it's just really horrible, especially because obviously I went clubbing and my tummy was swollen, because I said I had tummy pain before I went, but I didn't have it until I ate some fruit, which is weird because there shouldn't be any problems with fruit. So anyway, considering I had tummy pain and I had 2 broken bones in my spine 5 months ago, and I've gone through rehab and I went clubbing, to a Bollywood dance at a nightclub, I think that's pretty good going. I'm very proud of myself. I came back, I was really in a lot of pain, particularly with my stomach, but sore on my back. And so I went in the shower, and yeah, I didn't get to sleep till 4:30. Bear in mind, I got back at 2:40. So it took me a while to have a shower, but I have to have one again because you're just full of sweat and it's not good to go, and you can catch cold and stuff. So I had to do all that, and I was so exhausted drying my hair. But then I woke up at just after 11, about 4 minutes past 11 this morning, which I wasn't expecting to do, when I didn't go to sleep till like 4:30. And I felt like my body's felt like it's been run over by a car or mangled, which is what it usually feels like with fibromyalgia. So it feels like my legs have been run over by a bus usually. But with clubbing in general, with fibro, before I had the back injury, it's like a delayed reaction. So it can take up to 72 hours to have the pain from my fibro actually come to fruition. So I felt I wouldn't be able to go into the city today, but I needed to get some food. But actually, I did have enough energy to go and get food. And I'm like, wow. So I went and got food. I didn't do any exercise today because I thought I need to give my body a rest. So I did some on my book first, because I was buried in my book I did some affirmations, and then I was straight into my book. I didn't need to go in the shower again because I'd been in really early this morning. Like I didn't go to sleep till 4:30. So I thought I don't need to shower again. So yeah, I did some book work on my Asexuality book till about 3 something. Then I went into the letting agency to find out what's happened to the place I viewed last week, because I got told on Friday the landlord was still making his decision about my application. And I've received no email. The guy who showed me around the flat, he is off for a few days. So I'm going to see the manager tomorrow. He's the owner of the actual company, because it's an independent letting agency as far as I know. So I'm going to see him tomorrow sometime between 10 and 2. I can call in his office. It literally is 4 doors up from where I live, the letting agency. So the woman who was there today, she's taken a note of my name, email, and phone number. And I said I'll go, because she said I'll be in 10 till 2, and I got physiotherapy at 2:30. So I'll get up early to go and speak to him, because she said he leaves early. He's not, sometimes he's here till 3, but he'll be here at least till 2. So I got to make sure I go in there earlier so I can talk to him before the physio, because I don't know if he's going to have to chase anything. But I gave him all the details of the property and everything. I gave to this woman to give to him. She goes, I'll give him a heads up, let him know that you're calling, and then he can find out what's happening with it. She said, as he's the owner, it'll probably be better if you talk to him anyway. So I'm really hoping that I'll get an answer one way or the other. I've still got to look for other properties in the meantime, but I really would like to know, yes or no, if this guy is interested in actually having me as a tenant, possibly. Do you know what I mean? Because surely he should have made his mind up by now, considering I viewed the property on Wednesday last week. It's nearly Tuesday well, it'll be Tuesday tomorrow in like less than an hour, sorry, now, you know what I mean? So it's going to be nearly a week ago. So I don't know how many other people have viewed it, but it's not actually on on the letting agency's website yet, and it's not actually advertised on any sites at the moment. So I feel like I've got exclusive look at it, but I need to find out what's going on with it. So yeah, and then I've got physio tomorrow, so I'll be telling my physiotherapist all about it. I mean, she might think I don't need so much more physio if I can already go to a Bollywood party, because the whole point of all the physio, other than getting me better, was to get me well enough to go to a Bollywood party. That was my end goal. And the fact I've already achieved my end goal now might mean she thinks I don't need much rehab, if any at all. You know what I mean? She might think I'm well enough. But I'd rather carry on with the few sessions that if she'll let me, but I don't know if she will, because I want to find out, like how to like sort the jumping out. And also I'm still not great on the twisting round and stuff. And I still feel like I'm cut. I've still got this problem with being like I'm cut here, which is an issue. So yeah, so today I did actually go into the city. I did a load of shopping, and then I happened to see someone I know in Sainsbury's, and then we were having a chat, and we decided to she asked me if I wanted to go for a drink because we hadn't caught up for a while, and because we hadn't been in contact for a while. And then I actually went with her for a meal instead, so that was good. But she actually went back to my home to help me with my shopping trolley, and then we went out. So it's really nice because she helped me, because I still have problems with lifting and moving stuff. Like, it still does hurt me more, and I still obviously a weakness there. So, but I am getting better because I can lift more stuff. But it's still, whenever I lift stuff, it causes me more pain here. So I've still got an issue here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I've got a hairline fracture or what, but the physio doesn't look like she's going to put me forward for any more x-rays. She's just kind of like continuing with physio and not thinking that's anything to do with broken bones. So, because it's not there all the time, it's only there some of the time. But anyway, in conclusion, I went despite the fact that the Indian guy didn't message me back. So I had a great time. He missed a great party. He has messaged me back saying he was inviting me there. That's what he's doing. But then he got caught in the rain and wasn't feeling well. And so he said, "Oh, I was inviting you there because I thought we could have a good time dancing together. I don't usually go to those things." And he told me the reasons why he doesn't usually go to them. So yeah, it's very strange someone inviting you, asking you to reply to them, and they're not bothering to reply. But I will speak to him about that and see if he can understand my point of view of why it wasn't good, him not responding. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with my progress. I'm really happy that I was so determined to succeed that I actually have got better enough to dance. I still am apprehensive about going out dancing regularly. I still think I need to get my body even stronger. And I still think, I need to continue with my physio exercises, keep building my strength, and keep working on my body. Do you know what I mean? So it's essential for me, because I don't want to be in a situation where I feel weak again and I keep having back problems. I think I'll have to keep a lot of the exercises up consistently. And I think that having a physiotherapist with, helping me is a lot better, because then I've got like a motivation more to do it. And I've got a determination, but I don't want that to go away when I don't see the physio anymore. So I'm not sure if I should join a gym, but usually exercise drains my energy. So, when I do exercise at home, I can do the routine I need to do. Plus, I've got weights at home on my own anyway. So I can kind of do everything I need to do at home. So I don't necessarily need to go to a gym, but I thought it might be better for motivation. I don't know. But then not if I'm not motivated to go to the gym. And I know the physio thinks I'm better to do dancing than go to the gym anyway, because I'm more interested in it. I enjoy it more, and it's actually very good for my body. She did actually recommend a long time ago that I go dancing as part of my physiotherapist rehabilitation program. But back then she didn't know I had a broken back. It was after the broken back that well, it was before I got the official diagnosis of broken back that she told me to dance. After I got the broken back, she didn't say anything too much about that, but she knows that I prefer dancing and I really love it. And last night I did change my mindset around at the last minute. I thought instead of worrying about going to the club, instead of fretting about, the fact of all the things that could go wrong, you should actually be treating it as a celebration. Because if you can go clubbing to a Bollywood party, which is high octane energetic dancing, I'll have you know, it's not simple soft, gentle dancing is high octane, energetic dancing, like this all the time. So I'm like, if you can go to that, Sandra, after 5 months of rehabilitation, you should be celebrating. You should be going there to celebrate what achievements you have made. You have gone from 2 broken bones in your spine to being in an absolute agony. I think I broke my ribs as well, but there's no actual evidence of that. Apart from I know there is because of the pain I was in, but there's no physical evidence because they don't x-ray ribs anymore and they expect them to just heal on their own if they are broken. But anyway, they kept saying that my rib pain was to do with the fact I got a broken spine in 2 places and that affects the ribs because they're attached to the spine. But I was in absolute agony. I could barely even get off the bed. I had to like maneuver myself around my own spine to even get off the bed. I was in so much pain bending down. Every time I bent down, I got dizzy. And it was like jarring my back. And I've had horrendous pain. And I know what I've been through. I felt like I've been through a car accident, even though I haven't been through a car accident. It's really weird. So anyway, I thought when you go to the Bollywood party, it's like a celebration to celebrate that you've come so far. You were so determined to get yourself better enough to be able to dance Bollywood party. If you achieve that, which I did, then it's a celebration. It's like a celebration that you've just had over 5 months rehab of physiotherapy and you've passed that, and you've managed to achieve your dream of going back dancing again. So actually this is a celebration if you can do it, and it ended up being like a celebration like that. But obviously I'm not 100% better. I mean, I didn't last till the very end of the night. I did leave earlier where I was usually be able to last till the very end of the night. I'd usually still have some energy left and I was drained of energy and I'd exhausted myself. But still, for 2.5 to 3 hours of high octane energetic dancing, even if I didn't do every single thing I would usually do in dancing and I was watching what I did, there are certain things I can't do that much, especially the jumping. I still did damn well. So I'm really proud of myself. And if you are having difficulties and struggles in your life and you've broken things, just know that you can get better and work damn hard at it to be determined to succeed at whatever you do and succeed in it and celebrate in the process. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Lee, for being in chat. Thank you for celebrating with me. If you like this video, if you want to celebrate with me, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to check out Asexual Perspectives book 47 Stories on Amazon and go grab your copy of that, and Diary Confessions of a Hyper-Romantic Asexual, 78 Life Lessons to Ace Your Life, and Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. These are all on Amazon. Thanks, Lee. Take care. Thanks, everyone. Lots of love and stay ace. Bye.